Picture this. You meet a woman who seems perfect for you. The conversation flows. She laughs at your jokes, and you feel a genuine connection developing. But when it comes to sexual chemistry, something's missing. She treats you like a friend, shows no physical interest, and seems completely unaware of you as a sexual being. You're wondering what went wrong and why other men seem to effortlessly ignite sexual desire, while you struggle to move beyond platonic interactions. This scenario plays out for millions of men who make the same fundamental mistake. They think that being nice, respectful, and emotionally available will naturally lead to sexual attraction. They couldn't be more wrong. Here's the brutal truth that most men never learn. Sexual attraction operates on completely different psychological principles than emotional connection or romantic interest. The behaviors that make women feel safe and comfortable are often the exact opposite of the behaviors that make them feel sexually aroused. What if I told you that there are specific psychological triggers that create sexual desire in women? What if I told you that understanding female sexual psychology could transform you from someone she sees as boyfriend material into someone she actively craves physically? And what if I told you that most men fail sexually not because they lack physical attractiveness, but because they fundamentally misunderstand how female desire actually works? Today, I'm going to reveal the uncomfortable truths about female sexual psychology that most men never learn till it's too late. These insights are based on evolutionary biology, neuroscience research, and the harsh realities of how women actually experience sexual attraction, not how society says they should experience it. If you're tired of being seen as safe while watching other men effortlessly create sexual tension and desire, pay attention. What you're about to learn will completely revolutionize your understanding of female sexuality and give you the tools to become sexually irresistible rather than just emotionally appealing. The first truth you must accept is this: the traits that make women feel emotionally safe are often the exact opposite of the traits that make them feel sexually excited. Women need to feel both safe and excited to experience sexual desire, but these two states seem contradictory. Safety comes from predictability, reliability, and emotional availability. Excitement comes from uncertainty, challenge, and emotional intensity. Most men choose one approach and wonder why they're not getting the complete response they want. The solution isn't choosing one over the other. It's understanding when and how to provide each. You must establish baseline safety through consistency and respect, then create excitement through strategic unpredictability and sexual tension. Many men believe that emotional connection automatically leads to sexual attraction, but female psychology doesn't work this way. Women can feel deeply connected to someone emotionally while feeling zero sexual desire for them. Conversely, they can feel intense sexual attraction to someone they barely know emotionally. Understanding this split is crucial because it explains why women often end up in relationships with men they don't find sexually exciting, while fantasizing about men who would be terrible relationship partners. You need to consciously develop both emotional and sexual attraction as separate skill sets. Modern society has conditioned men to suppress the very traits that create sexual attraction in women. Assertiveness becomes labeled as aggression. Confidence becomes arrogance. Sexual desire becomes creepiness. The result is men who are emotionally available but sexually neutered. Women are biologically programmed to be attracted to masculine energy, not toxic masculinity, but authentic masculine traits like leadership, confidence, physical presence, and sexual assertiveness. When you suppress these qualities to be respectful, you often eliminate sexual attraction entirely. True sexual confidence isn't about arrogance or aggression. It's about complete comfort with your own sexuality and masculine energy. Sexual confidence comes from internal authority rather than external validation. When you need a woman's approval to feel sexually confident, you've already lost the psychological dynamic that creates attraction. She needs to sense that your sexual confidence exists independently of her response. This means being comfortable with your own desires, unashamed of your sexuality, and confident in your ability to please a woman sexually. If you're insecure about your sexual abilities or ashamed of your desires, women will sense this uncertainty and respond with their own discomfort. Fear of sexual rejection is one of the biggest attraction killers. When women sense that you're afraid of their rejection, they lose respect for your masculine energy. Sexual confidence requires the ability to risk rejection without being devastated by it. This doesn't mean being pushy or ignoring consent. It means being comfortable expressing sexual interest and accepting whatever response you receive with dignity. Women are attracted to men who can handle rejection gracefully because it demonstrates emotional strength. The most sexually attractive men are those who genuinely don't need any specific woman's approval or sexual interest. This outcome independence allows them to be authentic, take risks, and express their sexuality without desperation or neediness. When you're genuinely content with or without her sexual interest, you naturally become more attractive because there's no pressure or agenda in your interactions. This relaxed confidence is inherently sexy because it demonstrates abundance and security. One of the biggest challenges is maintaining respect while creating sexual tension and desire. Modern men often struggle with expressing sexuality while respecting boundaries, but this is a false dichotomy. The sexiest men are those who can create intense sexual tension while being completely respectful of consent and boundaries. This involves reading her responses, escalating gradually, and being confident enough to express interest, pressed while secure enough to accept any response. The combination of sexual assertiveness and genuine respect is incredibly attractive to women. Before any sexual attraction can develop, women need to feel emotionally safe with you. This means demonstrating that you're not going to judge her, pressure her, or become dangerous if she doesn't respond the way you want. Emotional safety comes from consistency, honesty, reliability, and genuine interest in her as a person. Without this foundation, any sexual techniques you use will feel threatening rather than exciting. Sexual attraction develops through progressive escalation rather than sudden advances. This means gradually increasing physical contact, sexual conversation, and intimate interactions while paying attention to her responses. Each level of escalation should be met with positive response before moving to the next level. This progressive approach builds excitement while maintaining her comfort and consent throughout the process. Your physical presence communicates sexual confidence. Before you say a single word, O6S women respond to masculine energy on a primal level. This includes confident posture, deliberate movement, strong eye contact, and physical presence that takes up appropriate space. These traits signal genetic, fitness, and leadership ability. This isn't about being physically imposing or intimidating. It's about carrying yourself like a man who is comfortable in his own body and confident in his ability to handle whatever situations arise. How you occupy and move through space communicates your confidence level and social status. Men who are sexually attractive move deliberately, take up appropriate space, and aren't afraid to be physically present. This includes making strong eye contact, standing close enough to create mild tension, and using your physical presence to create intimate moments. Women should feel your masculine energy through your physical presence alone. Physical touch is one of the most powerful tools for creating sexual attraction, but it must be used skillfully and respectfully. This involves starting with casual, socially acceptable touch, and gradually escalating based on her positive responses. The key is confidence combined with attention to her reactions. Each touch should be deliberate and confident, while remaining respectful of her boundaries and comfort level. Women's sexuality is largely mental, which means engaging her mind is often more important than physical techniques. Many women need mental stimulation before they can experience physical arousal. This involves engaging her intellectually through challenging conversations, thought-provoking questions, and demonstrations of your mental capabilities. This doesn't mean showing off your intelligence. It means genuinely engaging with her mind in ways that create respect and admiration for your mental abilities. Women often need to respect a man's mind before they can desire his body. Female sexuality operates heavily through imagination and anticipation. This means creating mental images, scenarios, and possibilities that she can fantasize about even when you're not together. This might involve subtle sexual innuendo, descriptions of experiences you could share, or conversations that plant sexual ideas in her mind. The goal is to make her imagination work in your favor by giving it compelling material to process. Predictability kills sexual attraction. Women need to feel like they haven't completely figured you out, and that there are still discoveries to be made about your personality, experiences, and capabilities. This involves revealing yourself gradually rather than sharing everything immediately. Maintain some mystery about your past experiences, your thoughts, and your capabilities, so she remains curious and engaged. Before I continue revealing these crucial insights about female sexual psychology, make sure you hit that like button. If this content is challenging your assumptions about how attraction really works, 6S subscribe to the channel because I'm exposing the uncomfortable truths about female sexuality that could transform your results with women. Your support helps me continue sharing these insights that most men never learn until it's too late. Sexual tension is the foundation of female arousal, but most men either create too little or try to create it through the wrong methods. Sexual tension comes from alternating between showing interest and creating distance. This psychological dynamic keeps her emotionally engaged while preventing her from becoming too comfortable or taking your interest for granted. This might involve being very present and engaged during your interactions, then becoming less available afterward. 6S or showing clear interest in her, then shifting your attention to other things or people. The key is creating uncertainty about your availability and interest level. Women often experience more arousal from anticipation than from actual physical contact. This means that building expectation and anticipation can be more sexually effective than rushing to physical intimacy. This involves creating situations where sexual contact could happen, but doesn't. 6S making plans that create anticipation, and using communication to build expectation about future encounters. The goal is to make her think about you sexually even when you're not together. Sexual attraction thrives on emotional intensity. This means creating interactions that generate strong emotional responses, whether excitement, curiosity, challenge, or even mild frustration. Bland, safe interactions don't create sexual chemistry. You need to be willing to create emotional reactions and handle the intensity that comes with genuine sexual attraction. How you communicate verbally and non-verbally directly impacts her level of sexual interest. Subtle sexual innuendo allows you to introduce sexual themes into conversation without being crude or inappropriate. This involves double meanings, playful implications, and conversations that operate on multiple levels. The key is subtlety combined with confidence. She should be able to interpret your comments innocently if she chooses, but the sexual undertone should be clear enough to plant ideas in her mind. Research shows that women are more sexually attracted to men with deeper voices, as it signals higher testosterone levels and genetic fitness. This doesn't mean artificially lowering your voice, but speaking from your chest rather than your throat. Practice speaking more slowly, deliberately, and with authority. The pace and tone of your voice communicate confidence and masculinity more than the actual words you use. Strong, sustained eye contact is one of the most powerful tools for creating sexual tension. Most men either avoid eye contact out of insecurity or use it inappropriately. Learn to maintain comfortable but intense eye contact during conversations, especially when making important points or creating intimate moments. Your eyes should communicate confidence and sexual interest without being aggressive or creepy. Paradoxically, being less available often makes you more sexually desirable. When you're too available, you eliminate the chase and excitement that fuel sexual attraction. Women need to feel like they're competing for something valuable rather than accepting something freely given. This means having genuine commitments, interests, and priorities that sometimes take precedence over her availability. She should feel like she's earning your time and attention rather than receiving it automatically. Women are more sexually attracted to men who are desired by other women. This social proof triggers competitive instincts and validates your desirability through third-party confirmation. This doesn't require actual relationships with other women. It simply requires having female friends, being comfortable around women, and demonstrating that you have options and choices. Sexual attraction requires seeing you as a complete, independent person, rather than someone who needs her to feel complete. This means having your own goals, interests, friendships, and life direction that exists separately from her. When she realizes that you would be perfectly content with or without her, it creates the kind of challenge and uncertainty that fuels sexual desire. Predictability is the enemy of sexual excitement. Women need variety and surprise to maintain sexual interest. Plan surprising experiences that she couldn't predict or expect. This might involve taking her somewhere she's never been, trying activities she's mentioned interest in, or creating experiences that challenge her normal routine. The goal is to associate you with excitement, adventure, and positive surprises. When she thinks of you, she should think of excitement rather than routine. Show her different aspects of your personality rather than maintaining the same energy level consistently. Sometimes be playful and light, other times be serious and intense. This range keeps her interested and prevents her from completely categorizing you. Women are attracted to complexity and depth. If you're always the same, she'll quickly figure you out and lose interest in discovering more about you. Women are attracted to men who are willing to take appropriate risks because it demonstrates courage and leadership ability. This might involve trying new experiences, making bold decisions, or being willing to fail in pursuit of something worthwhile. This doesn't mean being reckless or dangerous. It means being willing to step outside your comfort zone and handle uncertainty with confidence. Physical escalation must be gradual, confident, and responsive to her comfort level. Start with socially acceptable casual touch, brief contact during conversation, guiding her with light touch on her arm or back, or casual contact during shared activities. Pay attention to her response to each level of contact. Positive responses include moving closer to you, reciprocating touch, or seeming comfortable with the contact. Negative responses include pulling away, seeming uncomfortable, or creating distance. As she becomes comfortable with casual contact, gradually increase the intimacy and duration of physical contact. This might progress from brief touches to longer contact, from arms and hands to more intimate areas, and from casual to intentionally intimate contact. Each progression should be met with positive response before moving to the next level. This gradual escalation builds anticipation while maintaining her comfort. Learn to recognize the signs of sexual interest versus mere comfort with physical contact. Sexual interest includes reciprocating touch, initiating contact herself, maintaining close physical proximity, and showing signs of arousal. If she's not showing signs of sexual interest despite being comfortable with physical contact, you may need to focus more on attraction building rather than escalation. The most powerful sexual relationships combine emotional intimacy with physical passion. Sharing vulnerability can create deep emotional connection, but timing is crucial. Too much vulnerability too early can kill sexual attraction, while complete emotional distance prevents deeper intimacy. Learn to share vulnerability gradually and strategically. Show depth and emotional intelligence without appearing needy or emotionally unstable. Sexual relationships require managing different types of emotional intensity. Sometimes you need to create excitement and passion. Other times you need to provide comfort and security. Learn to read her emotional needs and respond appropriately. This emotional intelligence is attractive and creates the foundation for lasting sexual chemistry. Maintaining sexual attraction in longer relationships requires ongoing effort to remain interesting, challenging, and sexually relevant. This means continuing to grow, maintain your independence, and invest in your own development. Sexual attraction can fade if you become too comfortable, predictable, or dependent. Maintaining attraction requires ongoing attention to the principles that created it. Initially, the most important aspect of sexual attraction that it must come from authentic masculine confidence rather than manipulative techniques. Focus on actually becoming sexually confident rather than just acting sexually confident. This means addressing your own insecurities, developing genuine competence, and building real self-respect. When your sexual confidence comes from genuine self-development rather than performance, it becomes naturally attractive rather than artificially contrived. All sexual attraction techniques must be integrated with genuine respect for women as individuals. Sexual confidence without respect. It is creepy and potentially dangerous. The most attractive men are those who can be sexually assertive while being completely respectful of boundaries, consent, and individual dignity. Think beyond just creating sexual attraction to building the kind of man that naturally attracts high-quality women sexually. The goal is becoming genuinely attractive rather than just learning techniques. This long-term perspective ensures that your sexual success comes from authentic development rather than manipulational performance. Understanding female sexual signals prevents misunderstandings and ensures you're responding appropriately to her actual interest level. Learn to distinguish between genuine sexual interest and polite social interaction. Many men misinterpret friendliness, politeness, or basic human decency as sexual interest. True sexual interest includes specific behavioral changes, increased attention to appearance around you, physical contact, initiation, sexual innuendo or conversation, and creating opportunities for private interaction. Female arousal often manifests differently than male arousal. Learn to recognize the subtle signs: dilated pupils, increased breathing, flushed skin, more intimate conversation, and increased physical contact. These signals help you calibrate your approach and escalation to match your actual interest and arousal level, rather than your assumptions about what she wants. No sexual attraction technique is worth violating her boundaries or making her uncomfortable. Learn to recognize and respect her limits while maintaining your own confidence and self-respect. Learn to read her physical responses during intimate moments. This includes paying attention to her breathing, body language, verbal responses, and overall comfort level. Her body will tell you what she enjoys and what she doesn't. This skill requires being present and attentive, rather than just focused on your own experience. The ability to read and respond to her physical cues makes you a better lover and creates more trust and attraction. Approach. Physical intimacy is a partnership where both people's satisfaction matters equally. This means being willing to slow down, change approaches, or try different things based on her responses and preferences. The most sexually attractive men are those who are confident enough to prioritize mutual pleasure over their own ego or performance anxiety. This partnership approach creates better experiences for both people and builds stronger sexual chemistry over time. The sexiest men are those who can accept rejection gracefully while maintaining their own dignity and respect for her autonomy. One of the most powerful ways to build sexual trust and attraction is being completely transparent about your intentions and expectations. Rather than hiding your sexual interest or pretending you just want friendship, be honest about your attraction while remaining respectful. This transparency eliminates games and creates trust, which is essential for sexual chemistry. This doesn't mean being crude or aggressive. It means being clear about your romantic and sexual interest while giving her space to respond honestly. Women appreciate men who are direct about their intentions rather than those who use deceptive friendship tactics. Have honest conversations about what you're both looking for. If you want a relationship, say so. If you're interested in casual dating, be transparent. This alignment prevents misunderstandings and creates emotional safety. Many men avoid these conversations because they're afraid of the answer, but this fear-based approach often leads to confusion and disappointment. Clarity about expectations actually makes women more comfortable exploring sexual chemistry with you. Approach sexual relationships with genuine concern for her satisfaction and pleasure, not just your own. This means paying attention to her responses, asking what she enjoys, and being focused on mutual pleasure rather than just your own gratification. Women often report that men are too focused on their own experience and don't pay enough attention to female pleasure. When you demonstrate genuine concern for her satisfaction, it creates trust and makes her more interested in sexual exploration with you. The ultimate truth about making women want you sexually is this: it requires a fundamental understanding of female psychology combined with authentic masculine development. Sexual attraction isn't about manipulational tricks. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally triggers female desire through confidence, masculinity, emotional intelligence, and genuine respect. When you understand how female sexuality actually works, rather than how you think it should work, you can create genuine desire, rather than just compliance or politeness. The men who master sexual attraction don't just get women to sleep with them, they become the kind of men that women genuinely crave and fantasize about. They understand that sexual confidence comes from internal development rather than external techniques. Remember, sexual attraction is a skill that can be developed through understanding, practice, and authentic self-improvement. The key is focusing on becoming genuinely attractive, rather than just learning to appear attractive. Your sexual confidence should come from genuine competence, self-respect, and understanding of female psychology, rather than manipulation or performance. When you develop authentic sexual magnetism, you'll find that women are naturally drawn to your masculine energy and presence. If this analysis has revealed gaps in your understanding of female sexual psychology, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that exposes the real dynamics of sexual attraction. Share this with men who need to understand that sexual success comes from authentic masculine development, rather than nice guy behavior or manipulative techniques. Until next time, remember, sexual attraction is not about being perfect. It's about being authentically masculine, confident, and emotionally intelligent. Focus on becoming the man who naturally creates desire, rather than trying to convince women to desire you.